Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Today is Friday, February 12, 2021. Fox report. Texas ice storm damages trees, leaves over 58,000 without power. An ice storm has frozen Texas, leading to widespread power outages, hazardous travel conditions, felled tree branches and a fail pileup involving more than 100 vehicles near downtown Fort Worth. A polar vortex around the U.S.-Canadian border is the cause of the extreme weather in the Lone Star State, resulting in frigid temperatures farther south than usual. Areas from Texas to the mid-Atlantic have felt the impact of the storm system, experiencing freezing rain, sleet and snow through the end of the week.
CNN report. Where is my tax refund? How to check the status after filing your return. Roughly 3/4 of U.S. tax filers typically end up getting a refund after they file their federal income tax returns. Last year 77% of filers got one, and the average refund was $2,549, according to IRS data. But this year, many filing their 2020 taxes may see a bigger check than usual thanks to several new and enhanced tax breaks designed to provide financial relief from the COVID crisis. Tax filers who expect to get money back from the government often file early in the tax season, which this year starts Friday, February 12.
Al Jazeera report. Biden administration to lift blacklisting of Yemen's Houthis. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken on Friday said he will revoke terrorist designations of Yemen's Houthi movement from February 16, even as he warned that members of the group could be hit with more sanctions. The Trump administration imposed the Specially Designated Global Terrorist (SDGT) and Foreign Terrorist Organization (FTO) designations on its last full day in office despite warnings by other governments, aid groups and the United Nations that the sanctions they carried could push Yemen into a major famine.
Fox report. Russia says it's ready for split if EU imposes new sanctions. Russia is prepared for a split with the European Union if the EU imposes new crippling sanctions amid a dispute over the treatment of opposition leader Alexei Navalny, the nation's top diplomat warned Friday. In response to a question about Moscow's willingness to rupture links with the EU, Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said in televised remarks that Russia doesn't want to be isolated but must increase its self-sufficiency to face potential EU sanctions.
CNN report. Everything you need to know about Bitcoin. After years of skepticism, Bitcoin is finally gaining mainstream credibility. This week alone, Tesla (TSLA) said it will soon accept Bitcoin as payment for its vehicles, and disclosed it had purchased $1.5 billion in the cryptocurrency as part of its cash holdings. Meanwhile, Uber and MasterCard (MA) also said they plan to start accepting Bitcoin. And BNY Mellon, the oldest U.S. bank, whose history dates back to Alexander Hamilton's founding of Bank of New York in 1784, announced it has formed a digital assets unit.
CNN report. Elon Musk, the world's richest man, is about to get a whole lot richer. For a CEO who receives no salary, Elon Musk's 2020 payday reached sky-high levels. He received 4 grants to buy 8.4 million Tesla shares in 2020. After paying the exercise price, those blocks of stock options were each worth $6.2 billion at Wednesday's closing price. The combined $24.8 billion value of those options alone is more than Musk was worth a year ago when Forbes calculated its billionaires list, when he was ranked as the world's 31st richest person.
Deutsche Welle report. Trump's lawyers argue his fighting words are free speech. With Donald Trump's defense team taking the floor for the next phase of the impeachment trial on Friday, his lawyers sought to turn the tables on the U.S. Democrats and accuse them of pursuing a vendetta against the Republican politician. Defense attorneys, led by David Schoen and Michael Van der Veen, used some of the same tactics used by Trump's opponents earlier this week. They showed dozens of video clips where prominent Democrats could be seen using incendiary rhetoric similar to Trump's, and argued that the former president's words constitute protected speech.
BBC report. Polish mayor honors Belarusian who got bus out of snow. Journalist Paweł Lakasik was reporting live for private channel TVN24 on a traffic jam caused by a bus, when Dmitry Salogub strode up to the bus and began to push it. The journalist, microphone still in hand, joined in. They got the bus moving and the journalist praised him for his effort. Warsaw Mayor Rafał Trzaskowski has now commended the Belarusian migrant for helping in a difficult situation.
Deutsche Welle report. Iran's nuclear non-compliance risks deal, warn UK, France, Germany. Amid hopes to revitalize the nuclear accord with Iran, Germany, France and the United Kingdom saw Iran was risking it by breaching the commitments it accepted in 2015. Previously, a UN agency confirmed that Iran was violating the deal by producing uranium metal. The three European powers want to see Iran and the United States take part in new talks over the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA.
Fox report. Florida police. Convicted felon stole rings from one girlfriend, used them to propose to another. Florida police are on the hunt Friday for a convicted felon accused of stealing an engagement ring and wedding bands from his girlfriend and then using the jewelry to propose to another lover. Joseph L. Davis, a 48-year-old who went by the aliases Joe Brown and Marcus Brown to separate women in Orange City and nearby Orlando, respectively, has a warrant out for his arrest by the Volusia County Sheriff's Office on a felony charge of grand theft.
CNN report. Analysis. Facebook has become a $770 billion clone factory. There was an exciting moment 4 years ago when it seemed like Facebook was doing something truly jaw-dropping. The company set up a new hardware division called Building 8, staffed it with scientists and engineers overseen by an executive from DARPA, and announced it was building technology to help you type with your brain and hear with your skin. While it was unclear whether the bold idea would ever actually materialize, it felt innovative and different than anything the company had ever done, a moonshot factory like Google had long been known for.
BBC report. COVID. France says just one jab needed for previously infected. People who recover from COVID have some immunity and should be inoculated 3-6 months afterwards, it said. France is the first country to issue this advice. It has delivered nearly 2.8 million vaccinations so far, the health ministry said. A single vaccine dose will play the role of reminding the body of someone previously infected with coronavirus how to fight the disease, the Haute Autorité de Santé has said.
Al Jazeera report. Algeria's Tebboune returns home after hospitalization in Germany. Algerian President Abdelmajid Tebboune has returned home after a 1-month stay in Germany for surgery following post-COVID complications in his foot, according to state television. The President of the Republic, Supreme Chief of the Armed Forces and Minister of Defense Abdelmajid Tebboune, returned today, the state broadcaster reported on Friday, but did not broadcast images of his arrival. Tebboune, 75, had been hospitalized in Germany last year after contracting COVID-19, and stayed there for 2 months before returning to Algeria.
Al Jazeera report. Copyright spat. Google to pay $76 million to French news publishers. Alphabet Inc.'s Google has agreed to pay $76 million over 3 years to a group of French news publishers to end a more than year-long copyright spat. Documents seen by Reuters news agency show a deal one news publishers lobby deemed unfair. The two documents, seen by Reuters and disclosed publicly for the first time, include a framework agreement that stipulates Google is ready to pay $22 million annually in total to a group of 121 national and local French news publications after signing individual licensing agreements with each of them.
BBC report. Nelson Mandela funeral. 15 arrested in South Africa over fraud. They include prominent members of the ruling African National Congress in the Eastern Cape province. They have not commented on the allegations. Prosecutors accuse them of corruption and money laundering amounting to nearly $700,000, £500,000. Mandela was the country's first black leader after apartheid ended in 1994. The allegations first emerged in 2014, months after Mandela's funeral in Kunu, Eastern Cape, in December 2013, which was attended by heads of state from around the world.
Deutsche Welle report. Mario Draghi formally accepts invitation to be Italy's PM. Economist Mario Draghi, once the head of the European Central Bank, confirmed on Friday he had enough support to form a new ruling coalition in Italy. The country is at a critical juncture as it battles both the medical and economic consequences of the coronavirus pandemic, which struck Italy first outside of Asia almost exactly 1 year ago. President Sergio Mattarella asked Draghi to be prime minister after party wrangling brought down the previous administration of Giuseppe Conte.
Thank you for watching 5 p.m. Recap. To be notified, you can subscribe our channel and activate the bell.